Welcome back to the Aliens and Angels podcast. Today, I want you to meet my special guest, Polly Roderman. Paola, also known as Polly Roderman, was born in Bogota, Colombia, and while she was growing up, she immersed herself in a French school where she learned fluent French and English. At the young age of 7, an awakening moment occurred for Polly when she experienced as what she considered to be a download in her brain after encountering for her first time an image of an extraterrestrial craft in a book. One day, while feeling isolated within her experience, she felt a sudden, very strong need to understand what happened. This download marked the beginning of Polly's connection with the ET phenomena. Venturing into adulthood, Polly pursued a BA in journalism and social communication after graduating from school. Her life journey took her to Israel in 1999, where she resides to this day. Her experiences intensified after she began moving with astral travelings and remote sightings. Over the last 20 years, Polly has been actively sharing UFO news and information in Facebook around the world. She is a member of the UFO Man podcast team on YouTube, and she's been sharing her own story, hoping to be a support for other experiencers. All of the links are featured below. I want to thank you in advance for liking, commenting, subscribing, and please do share my content with your friends. Now, some of my subscribers have been leaving me comments that YouTube has unsubscribed them. So if you don't mind, do me a favor, only take a minute, go to my YouTube channel and check to see if you were still subscribed. And if you're not, you may wish to resubscribe. And in addition to all this, YouTube and Rumble channel memberships are now available, so you can receive my perks and help to support my channel. If you are already a member of my channel or you are soon to join, let me know if you would like to be part of my upcoming panel of members scheduled sometime in December. So sometime in December, those of you who are members that wish to be on the show will actually be my guests. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting to know some of you better. So without further ado, I'll bring on Polly. Polly, how are you doing today? And welcome to Aliens and Angels.
Hey, Karen, thank you so much for the invite. I'm so happy to see you finally. I feel like we can talk for hours and hours. So thank you so much. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here. Let's just say quick hello to Dolly Saffron in the live chat. Denise. Denise is my moderator. She takes good care of everybody in the chat. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate you very, very much. I also notice we have Cursed Zero, who is here as well. Of course, we have Polly. We have Manishi. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your names very nicely. Moxley, she says, hi, guys. Gustavo, UFO is here today. Hello, Polly. Let's see who else we have here before we get too excited into the show. Euphemia, hola. Hola.
Well, that's my mom. She's my mom.
Oh, is it? Oh, Baba. Oh, how do you say hello, muchacha? No, that would be you. You're the muchacha. What do you call your mom? I forget.
Señora,
Senor.
señora.
Nice to see you. We've got Kevin Briggs here today.
Yeah.
We got Matthew Guka. Nice to see you. We have Vamp Skyder. Nice to see you. We got Hillbilly Herb. Oh, lovely, lovely to see you as well. Let's see, Kevin. Uh, Euphemia, and there I have everybody. I'm gonna go back to the top though and just put in a couple of links. There's one Denise put in for if anyone wants to buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com. Here is Polly's information. I wanted to make sure I bring it up on the screen so it gets recorded in all the videos. Facebook changes our Area 50 Human UFO UAP News, YouTube at Polly Rotterman, Twitter, and let's see. Oh, here's your main Facebook groups for everybody to see so they know where to find you. And I think that's it for the links. And hopefully, I have said hi to everybody, hopefully, including Daryl. And yeah, if I missed anyone, I'm sorry. I will try to catch you during the show. So, this is a great show because what I love about Polly's story is that she is not afraid to tell her story, even though it's unique. Not everybody has the same experiences, but hers are just as justified as everybody else. So if you took someone who's an experiencer and they published a book and it became really popular and they made millions of dollars, wouldn't make their story any more important than Polly's story. And we all have stories. What I think is happening is we're waking up to these experiencing going, wait a minute, maybe this is really happening for me. Maybe this is not my imagining. Maybe I am not crazy. And maybe I'm part of a huge family. And we all share these amazing, amazing experiences. I just noticed we missed Kitty Caddywhack. Nice to see you too today. Oh, we got somebody else new in the chat, Bushy Bado. And so I thought, Polly, why don't you talk about what it was like for you? Because you saw an image in a book, an image of an ET craft, and it immediately sparked something very profound in you and made you realize something. You want to tell us all about how that happened for you and what was the result?
Sure. Well, I think since I was a little girl, I have this profound feeling of empathy for humans, for kids. And somehow that made me feel also strange things in my room when I went to sleep. So I usually used to cover all of me till my head, because I used to feel like things touching my legs or my body. And I was having these dreams about flying. And so, but I wasn't hear other kids or my family talking about this stuff. What happened is that when I was 7 years old, well, my mother and my father are, my mother is a nurse, and my father, rest in peace, was a pediatrician. And so we used to have a beautiful library in the third floor of our house. And the library was full of medical books. And for some reason, I had these profound Um, like I really wanted to know our body from the inside out. So looking at those pictures, the lungs, the heart, how it functions and everything was really amazing for me. But there was this time when I was 7 years old that, as usual, I got to my home. I went and picked up one of those books, but when I opened it, what I saw was a triangle with three lights in each one of the corners. It was a black and white picture, and I don't know whose book that was, but the feeling was kind of the moment I saw that image, immediately my environment changed. So all the noises that came from the outside, the birds, the cars, I could not hear nothing. Not my grandmother, not my sisters. It's like everything was paralyzed around me, including me with the book in my hands. And so while I was watching, looking at this triangle, not knowing back then what I was looking at, because, this is Colombia, I was only 7 years old, never seen something like that before. Um, the the feeling is that I started receiving a download inside my head with numbers. So if you imagine a computer running numbers and numbers and numbers, well, that's what I was seeing inside my brain. Green numbers running and numbers and running and running. And those were a series of zeros, ones, threes, and fives. But those numbers were kind of translated inside my head as images. So
Mhm.
I could suddenly see that craft hovering outside planet Earth. And I guess that's the first time I kind of had a first telepathic communication
Mhm.
where a simple message was sent to this little girl. And the message just said, kind of, this is a different kind of plane. This is not your technology or the technology that you know. Um,
Mhm.
we don't live in planet Earth, but we come to visit you. And that's it. A second later, everything closes and all my reality comes back again. I hear again the noises, I hear again my
Mhm.
sisters. And so I am in shock because I don't understand what happened. You know, um,
Mhm.
when I was younger, I had a previous experience inside my room with something kind of paranormal. But I was
Mhm.
sleeping and I just woke up. But in this case, I just came back from school. I am totally aware of, reality, my environment. So I don't know what happened. And the truth is that I took some minutes to think about it, and I said, okay, so how do I talk to my parents about this? Because I don't even know what to say or how to prove what happened, So maybe this was my imagination, and or I will hear maybe other kids talking about this, or maybe I will see an airplane with those characteristics. But
Mhm.
nothing. This was the 80s, Colombia. We didn't have internet or nothing.
Mhm.
So I kind of grew up feeling very lonely with this experience, not knowing really what happened with me. And um, but I guess that was kind of my awakening moment, when that single moment just made me immediately kind of, um, you know, I needed to start researching about
Mhm.
what happened, about me, about my experience. And the truth is that I thought it was related to ghosts, because everybody talk about ghosts, and there is the Colombian mythology too. So I said maybe it's ghosts, and I started searching for books, Many Lives, Many Masters, and reincarnations and angels. But something didn't make sense. Something was not making sense. So I went to school, I studied French and English, and I continued my life. I started my BA in journalism and social communication. And for some reason, I decided, because I had a strong feeling that I need to leave Colombia. And for some reason, the place is Israel. And so when I was 21, I communicated my parents that I'm leaving everything, and I'm leaving to the other side of the world. I've never been here before. So I started my life here, learning a new culture, learning a new language, my fourth language by this time. Hey, Shelly.
Wow.
Um, and suddenly, in the middle of my life, 2006, and after about 4 years of having headaches, very hard headaches, 24/7 headaches, um, I almost fainted, and I went to ER. And the doctors told me that I needed immediately a brain surgery because I had two cysts inside my brain. And one of those cysts is very related to my story, because that cyst was in my pituitary gland. Now, those
Mhm.
that don't know, the pituitary gland is in your brain, between your two eyes, behind your nose.
Mhm.
And the problem is that when the neurosurgeon tried to extract that cyst from my nose, well, he then explained afterwards that inside that cyst, he saw what looked like a cube structure,
Mhm.
what looked like a cube, a little cube inside the cyst. And the
Mhm.
moment that they tried to extract all the cyst with that little thing inside, the whole thing exploded. And so I
Wow.
almost died during surgery, because whatever happened there, this thing auto destroyed itself, and all my brain fluids were running through my nose, and they needed to
Oh,
kind of save me on the spot. So now, in retrospective, I think it might have been an implant, but I don't know,
yes.
because I don't have it. And back then, the truth is that I didn't related it to an implant, because I didn't know I was going through all this stuff. The thing
Mhm.
is that only when I came here and I moved the country, well, here the technology was more advanced. So we had already internet, and I started researching
Mhm.
finally, you know, And so I started searching for every single incident in the world through history about UFOs and every single podcaster and um, book writers and you name it. I wanted to know exactly what is going on because, well, at 1999, I knew already that this what I saw in the book was an alien craft.
Hmm.
So I
Now,
knew that this was related to it.
sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. Um,
No, no,
yeah,
please
well,
go ahead.
that is really quite something. Now, I want to mention I do have a slideshow with all the images that you sent to me, and I thought that it might be fun to go through the slideshow, and then you can explain what each image is about or what was happening. Is that okay with
Yes,
you, Polly? But before
of
we do that,
course. Well, I think the images that you have are actually they are. This is the second part of the story. When
oh, okay.
actually I was trying to get pregnant in 2013. And by the way, the pituitary gland is also responsible for the function of the hormones in your body. And
Hmm.
so in 2013, when I was trying to get pregnant, well, all my tests looked great, but I was having lots of trouble getting pregnant and I was losing my pregnancies. So what started to happen is that after tracking it, I suddenly realized that during my ovulation periods, I was having this experience where I go to sleep. And here you can start with the slide pictures. I go to
Okay,
sleep and I
okay.
suddenly feel paralyzed again. So I don't know if the paralyzing situation is like a way that they use in order to contact you for some reason. Maybe there is a special frequency. I don't know how they use it, but I go to sleep. I feel paralyzed, and suddenly it's like I suddenly land in what looks like a Martian soil. This place looks like a desert with rocky mountains, very dry. The weather is very nice, not hot, not cold, a little bit windy, but it doesn't look like planet Earth. And I am
Mhm,
wondering how on earth did I land here because I just went to sleep, you know? And
mhm.
so I start walking and walking and walking and wondering, like, what is going on? But suddenly I see far away a figure that comes towards me. And when this figure approaches, well, more than walking, it's kind of hovering towards me. And when he gets about 2 meters from me, I can actually recognize that this is a little child. This is a little boy, about 5, 6 years old boy. Um, he looks humanoid, the hair, everything, but he's got this black eyes, like the grays, almond black eyes. The rest of him looks humanoid completely. So I looked at him and I was like, what are you doing here? But the feeling was like immediately I felt like this profound instinct of motherhood, like this child is mine and I need to protect him and do everything for him to be okay. And
Mhm.
so I was under lots of stress. He took my hand and we started walking. And through his touch, I guess, and kind of telepathy too, he was kind of telling me all the time, don't worry, everything is fine, you're going to be okay. And he guided me. We suddenly got to this place where I suddenly see in the middle of nowhere a tent. It looks like a very simple, no matter tent, like a biblical tent, a Jesus tent, in the middle of the desert. And I said, oh my God, like, great. Well, maybe his family is here and at least we have shelter. I'm thinking like in human terms. We need water, shelter. I don't know what's going on. And so we get just in front of the tent and he opens the tent and we get inside. And I guess, Karen, that's the shock of my life because, again, reality changes. And
Mhm.
what I'm seeing inside is not a tent. We are talking about a huge round craft. This looks like a round craft. I can see two floors. In the second floor, there are like black smoked windows all around. And the first floor looks clean. Like, I don't know how you clean something like that. Sterile, no cables, no nothing, like simple design, super clean. I've never seen something like that. In my left side, I could see a Lego structure. You can see it now in the picture. It looks like a Lego structure, like a cubed Lego structure. And there is an entity sitting there. Um, this entity looks more like a hologram, but it communicates with me. And this entity tells me, we are glad you are here because you are the only one that can help us and save us right now. And I am like what? Like, who are you guys? Like, what is going on? I don't understand how I got here. This was a tent. Now this does like can like. But the little boy that picked me up in the desert, he takes my hand again. He counts me down again. And when he raises his hand again, I could see finally the first floor of the craft. And so this place is an ER. I am seeing only just a little room of what feels like a huge compound. There are about 50 beds, and in each one of those beds, there is a woman in labor. Some of those women had already the babies born. Some of the babies were next to the women's beds in little beds. Um, but what I could suddenly see is that from the ceiling of this craft, as you see in the picture, there is a very bright white light from the ceiling. And suddenly I could see for the first time the praying mantis standing there. And I guess that's the moment when your brain kind of feels like a nuclear explosion because you're trying to understand, make some sense of what you're feeling. Like I'm seeing a praying mantis that is huge. Um, but what's amazing is that I did not feel scared or threatened. There were little grays around the beds. If they knew I was there, they were totally ignoring me. They were very like automatic, like mm, very concentrated in whatever they were doing. I did not have no communication with those little grays. Um, but when I looked at the praying mantis, she looked straight into my eyes, and I have to say it was beautiful because I could see through her eyes the universe. It's like she could show me a profound knowledge about creation and DNA and the creation of the universe. It was beautiful, but the message came just straight away. She looked straight into my eyes and she told me, now is the time to do your job. And
Mhm.
so, for some reason, I immediately felt that my task is right now taking all the knowledge that I learned from those medical books and do the
Mhm.
best for those women and babies, whatever they need. And so I started running and grabbing in my hands every single thing I thought could help me to check those pregnancies and babies. And that's what I did. I checked every single one of those women and babies, and especially the babies. It was very important for me because I didn't know if they knew, if they felt, how much they felt, if they were
Mhm.
aware of the situation. So I think I was kind of more worried about holding them and showing them love. And just hold on for a second. I'm sorry. I want to put here on my computer. There you go. Showing them love and hug them and even singing for them.
Mhm.
My feeling is that those women were not aware of what they were going through. They were under stress, of course, because they were in labor, but
Mhm.
I don't think they were aware of the fact that they were going through an hybridization program. I need to mention that all the babies they all had those black almond eyes
Mhm.
of the rays. And after I finished checking everyone, like when I saw the picture in the book, everything stops and I go straight to my bed. I immediately wake up feeling totally lost and understanding that I went through that experience again. One of those times I woke up and I woke up with that mark on my leg that you showed before in the pictures. It was really weird because um, it looked like a cat paw.
Mm.
It was no, I didn't feel hurt or I didn't see any incision. I checked my body for maybe I was having an allergy or something, but nothing like that.
Mhm.
This took 24 hours to disappear. And I don't really know how it got there. It looks like I was burnt, printed with something. But
It
sometimes,
does.
you know, when I look my story, when I think about it, um, I see like the that mark for me is more like a confirmation, because we are asking ourselves all the time, well, is this real? Especially in
Mm-hmm.
my case, because this happens through, I don't know if that's astral traveling, but when I go to sleep, I'm having these experiences. And so you are all the time wondering, well, is this real? And I guess that's the way also to say, well, it is. This is the confirmation. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if maybe I was one of those women having the hybridization program. I finally had my boy in 2015 through IVF, but it took me almost 2 years to get pregnant, and I was losing my pregnancies. So
Mm-hmm.
I see it more as synchronicities,
Mm-hmm.
and when you talked about it at the beginning of the show, it took me years to talk about this. It takes a lot of strength and, you know, not like understanding not only the phenomenon, but
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and being brave enough to understand that sharing our experiences is actually a confirmation for others, because other people can hear what happened to me and maybe feel related to it. And so we can compare, because we are disclosure. Our experiences are disclosure. So this is why it's so important. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, thank you so
Oh,
much, Karen, for this.
you're very welcome. Yeah, this is wonderful. Yeah, these marks are definitely suspicious. Definitely suspicious. I'd like to just go and have you answer a couple questions from the live chat, if that's okay.
Great.
Um,
Of course.
Shelley had wanted to know if any doctor told you that you wouldn't be able to have children when you were like 12 or 13. Did that ever happen for you?
No, no, not at all. When I was having my headaches, the doctors were relating it to a hormonal issue, and I was
Mhm.
getting hormones like to regulate my period every month.
Yeah,
But no, I was never told something like that. I was kind of surprised when I was trying to get pregnant, because all the tests looked great. I know
yeah,
it's a very stressful time, the
yeah.
IVF, but it was really curious for me to see how I was having the 10th experience, especially during my ovulation cycles. So somehow
Mhm.
it's, yeah. No, but no,
And
I did not.
and Shelley wants to know if you ever had any orange-like color perfect circles appear on you.
No,
Yeah,
not yet.
not yet. Yeah. And here's one in
Not yet.
Spanish, so you'll have to tell me what it says from Gustavo.
Let's say, let's see. Otra de las cooperaciones o trabajos de los grises con mantis. Yeah, well, hey, Gustavo. Hola. Yeah, well, he's talking about the cooperation between the Greys and the Mantis, which we hear
Mhm.
we hear a lot about it.
Mhm.
Again, I think our experiences are so beautiful. Some of us have had really tough experiences, and some of us have had, um, let's say, better experiences. I wish people could understand that we should not judge each other. We should respect
Mhm.
each one of our experiences, because the fact that my experience with the mantis was so reconforting for me doesn't mean that it was the same for someone else, and it's fine. We are all different. We grew up with different everything, culture, languages, you name it. So, and we
Mhm.
all deal with our everyday life and our experiences differently. So let's support each other. And I guess that's their message too. Stay humane, love, support, give hands, and make a better future for our kids too.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. And I think we can do it. We have the power, we have the will, we have the intention, we can do it. But I get distracted so much by news and mainstream and YouTube. Sometimes I forget and I have to put my phone away and I have to go, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm not going to get knocked off my center. We can do this. I
Yeah,
know what I need to do. And that is what I'm going to do. Denise hit the nail on the head. She says, yes, it's all about love. And
yeah.
yeah, that's really sweet of her. Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot says we hear for some of those races to be able to return to natural birth, they may die in the beginning, may become able to return, but the cost is there. Maybe they went too far with technology. I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Polly? Did they go too far with technology, or do they now need to be hybrids with humans in order to reproduce themselves? What are your thoughts?
Well, that is a great question, because we are always talking also about the ethics of the phenomenon.
Mhm,
And sometimes I ask myself, our ethics are as human, when we get when we are taken and we are going through all these procedures and they are not really asking us. Well, it doesn't feel right, right? It kind of feels like we
mhm,
are kidnapped and we are going through things that we are not asked. And but my question would be, and it's known also that they kind of lack this empathy that we humans have with our love and our huggings, and they don't have that. That's why they
mhm,
look for it on us. That's my feeling. When you have technology, it's made to use it. You don't make technology just to put it on yourself, right?
mhm,
How far they go with it? Well, they will go as far as we want to go with our own technology. That's why it's
mhm,
so important for us to check our own technology, especially because, well, I wish we would live in a world where all the countries are friends and holding hands, but we are not,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
So we need to be very aware of the human technology and of their technology too, because
mhm,
in my opinion, there is no good with no bad and bad with no good. So as well as there are benevolent species, I believe maybe there are species that maybe don't have good intentions. And we need to know and to be prepared for it too. So, part of my answer would be also, when you see, for example, in our nature, a praying mantis eating an insect or another praying mantis when they want to have babies. Well, The praying mantis is just doing her job. That's the way she behaves. You cannot ask from the praying mantis another behavior. So maybe we are asking from the aliens behaviors, like to be more kind, but they are not, because that's not the way they are. So
Mhm.
actually, what we need to do is to prepare ourselves and know that I believe you can also say no. You know, I believe that you communicate. You might also say no and tell them, I don't want to be part of this. But the
Mhm.
problem is that we are not aware of this communication because we are
Mhm.
not even aware that this is happening to us. And so we don't even know where to turn to ask for help, you know? And so everything becomes a chain of like a soup that you don't know what to do. So I think we need to understand that they are different, that maybe they don't have our kindness. Technology is
Mhm.
there and they are evolving with their own technology too. And that's not something we can do something about it, right? It's like if we mention, for example, Three Eye Atlas, right? Right now,
Mhm.
there is like a war of versions between if it's alien or not and who's right or wrong. Well, I think we
Mhm.
should not take Three Eye Atlas as a war and division between us. I think we should see Three Eye Atlas, whether it's alien or not, as what are the implications for humankind? Because this is not going to be the last object that we will have turning around our system, right? So,
Mhm.
whether
Mhm.
it's alien or not, we need to prepare somehow, or how? Like, start thinking what would you do just in case? Because we
Mhm.
could have
Mhm.
another case where even if it's an asteroid and it's pointing to planet Earth, we need to be prepared. So all the joking and all the laughing and the battle of versions, people, we need to start thinking seriously as humankind, not as
Mhm.
divided, uh, not as divisions, but as humankind, you know. That's
Mhm.
my feeling.
Yeah.
So lots to work.
Yeah, I think well, one thing that that really stuck out to me that you said is that we can't expect ET to be like us. They probably have thousands of years of advanced technology than us. They've probably done things so many different ways, different than us. They might even be physiologically or mentally different than us, even spiritually different than us. But I think if they were here to hurt us, they would have done that a long time ago. And when we look at the things that are going on between humans on this planet, it's shocking and disturbing enough. And I have not seen the level of cruelty that humans have shown to each other. I have never even heard of, even in other people's examples of their contact, which may have not been very friendly and maybe a bit shocking and upsetting to them. Um, but I believe there is a reason why all of this is going on. And there's, like I said, they could have destroyed us many times over if they wanted to, and they don't. And so if the worst thing we have from them is some cold feelings, then I think that's an indicator that maybe something's good's coming from this. Now, I myself don't have experiences with like praying mantis and grays and arcturians um, and reptilians. Mine are of a spiritual nature in another, well, frequency altogether than here. So I can't really speak to a lot of the earth situations, but I'm really glad that people like Polly can shed light on the hybridization program that's going on, how people are being involved. And I think what's really important here too is, some people think they've had a dream, or some people see an image like you did in the book and it triggered all kinds of things. People don't always have the kind of exposure where a spaceship comes and beams you up and takes you someplace and brings you back. It's not always like that. It can be very, very different. Some very spiritual experiences,
Right.
some very physical, some a combination. And we're
Yes.
all sharing the best we can for all of that. Um, we still have a few minutes left. I'm wondering, Polly, is there anything that you want to talk about that I didn't ask you or you didn't get a chance yet that you have a burning desire to share with the audience?
No, no. I just, I think the message here is, or at least what I understand, is that we are really not alone. They are watching on us. That's why we see them hovering also, around nuclear bases and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to understand that our decisions as humankind are ours to take for good or for bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to interfere with our evolution. So it's on us to learn how we go back to be these empathic human beings that we are so privileged to experience as humans in this human experience. So I guess the message is, let's hold hands, love and support each other, respect each other, try to share how much you can. There is always people there to hold, to support, and you are not alone. We are Disclosure, and thank you all so much for joining. And you, Karen, for your amazing, amazing, amazing work. This is a huge honor. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. But I think we're a group effort. The show is only as good as the guests that I have on, and they've all been pretty wonderful. But also in the live chat, people are really, really, really lovely. I've had so many
Yeah.
good experiences, and everyone who shows up in the live chat, they add a whole dimension to the show that wouldn't be there otherwise. I appreciate each and every one of you. This show will also be replay on Odyssey, Telegram. It's already up on X, it's up on Rumble, and it's going to be reposted as a replay also on YouTube, and it'll be going out on the Forbidden Knowledge Network. So it'll be available on all the audio podcasts as well. So I hope and pray that you folks will share this out to your friends and to your family, and that sorry, I'm trying to do the live chat at the same time and talk. I can't even chew gum and walk across the floor. This is
I'm the same. I'm asking myself, how are you doing it? Because, I'm just,
yeah,
way to go.
yeah, yeah. And so I really appreciate everybody so very much for joining us today on the Aliens and Angels podcast. I hope you'll all come back Wednesday for the Quantum Guide Show, where it's another mystical mothers panel where we've got mothers talking about all kinds of things that are relevant in this day and age. And then, of course, next week we'll have another episode of Aliens and Angels. Polly, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really, really appreciated your story and your experiences and hearing about the hybrid program in the desert. That was super interesting. And I wish you all the very, very best. And I hope you'll come back one day, maybe even be part of a panel and weigh in on different ET related subjects. That would be really wonderful as
Whatever you
well.
need. Right beside you. My honor. The honor is mine. Really. My pleasure.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I think Polly, you should tell people where they can find you. I know it's listed in the description below, and we've talked about it and posted it here, but for those that are listening on an audio, I think it'd be good for them to hear where to find you. So if you don't mind just saying it out loud, where they could find you, that would be good before we close out the show today.
Of course, you can join me in Facebook. The group name is Area 50 Human UFO UAP News. And on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, you will find me by Polly Rotterman, and the same thing, Area 50 Human UFO UAP News. So I'll see you there, guys. Thank you all so much.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, so thank you again, everybody who made it to the live chat. Really appreciate your efforts. Polly, thank you so much for joining me on the Aliens and Angels podcast. We will definitely have you back. And I wish you all the very best. And we'll just say bye-bye for today, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you for joining me for the Aliens and Angels podcast. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available on Amazon worldwide. Subscribe to my YouTube, Rumble, and X channels at Karen Holton TV. The like button and leave me a comment, and please do share this podcast with your friends. Check out my website at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All of the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you'll also find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.